Another question which I wanted to ask Abheyraj is, so what according to you is the difference in terms of skills or responsibility, the ambiguity of solving problems? What is it? What is the difference between a junior designer, one who's just started working in a company, versus a senior designer?
Interesting. I think it's a little bit of everything. The thing is that product design is a craft that has a lot of areas, right? So there is I would say that there is a threshold where if you are decently good at UX, product design, research, all of these, that's when we would classify you as a senior designer. So a junior designer might be really good at one thing, but then what about research? Maybe they lack the research skills. Maybe they lack the visual design skills. So there is a certain benchmark that we draw, but this varies from company to company. So we at Omeo drew a certain benchmark that you have to be at a certain level, and from a senior designer, we also expected leadership and some sort of mentorship ability. So we created like a 60-40 IC versus leadership sort of structure for senior designers at Omeo. It might be different at other companies, might be different for you. But over here, it was 60-40. So my role was, I was actually mentoring junior and mid-level designers with their projects. And a lot of times, there are things that, it's also experience. Sometimes like there are things that just came obviously to me, or sometimes one thing with a junior designer or like any designer is when you really explore the whole solution space. Now, the thing I see with a lot of junior designers is that when they're looking at a particular solution space, they end up narrowing themselves down too early. Very early, they narrow themselves down towards one direction. And that is something that is very important, and it comes with time. So you really need to explore the breadth of the solution space. And this is something I saw while I was mentoring junior designers, that they went really far down this one path. But I was like, guys, like maybe we need to really take 2 or even 3 steps back and maybe start from here, because maybe we forgot to explore this one path which was so far back. So I think this is one thing I've seen.
True. Also, so like you mentioned, right, junior designers often have a tendency of having this tunnel vision and going and deep diving into one thing, right? But as a mentor or as a senior, you do realize that where this is leading to, and hence you would prefer that, hey, come a few steps back, let's move on to a different direction. And how do you feel junior designers can be mindful of this and be that, okay, I've done this, now I need to move on to the another thing and cover up my breath?
I would say question yourself when you feel, just for 1 second, when you feel like you've designed something, question yourself that, hey, is there another way to do this? And just ask yourself that question. That's it. Like literally, we just don't ask ourselves that question enough.
Right.
There's so many solutions to one problem, and we just usually pick that one or those 1 or 2 solutions, but we just never explore that many.